Bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
And welcome back to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Steve Swat. My guest this segment is Michael Negrete, who is CEO of the Pharmacy Foundation of California. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you are the nonprofit arm of the California Pharmacy Association.
We were created in 1977 by the California Pharmacists Association to serve the public in ways related to pharmacy.
And what are some of the things you're doing? I mean, I know it's basically health issues.
Right, and issues related to pharmacy, particularly around safe medication use. We really want to make sure that people, when they use medications to make themselves healthier, use them in a way and work with their physicians and pharmacists in a way that they get the best benefit out of it with the fewest amount of risks.
And talking about the risks, I mean, I was on your website before this interview, and there was cited a statistic that estimates of medication issues, problems, are the number 5 killer in the U.S. I mean, 1.5 million Americans every year?
Yes, 1.5. That's 1 out of every 200 Americans every year, according to the Institute of Medicine, are likely to be seriously injured or killed by a medication. The good news is that most of these problems are completely preventable.
Now, when you're talking about the medication, you're talking about combination of medications, perhaps, or overdose of medications, or what?
A variety of different things. Could be drug-drug interactions, drug-disease interactions, accidental overdoses, and a lot of times it's not just taking too much of one medication, particularly with a lot of the OTC products. They're in many different kinds of preparations, and it's easy for somebody who doesn't read the ingredient list to accidentally take a lot of things, have the same ingredient, and end up with an unintentional overdose.
Well, I know you and your association, or your foundation, you like to say that medications can heal, but they can also harm.
Right.
The power is in both is in your hands.
Yes.
So that means you're talking about there's consumer power.
Oh, definitely.
Well, what is the consumer power? Because I get a medication, a prescription from my physician, I take it to the pharmacist. What am I supposed to do? What questions am I supposed to ask you?
Well, there's a couple things. Most directly, the power is in their hands every time they're at home and they open up their medication vial and decide what to take and how to take it. That's a very direct cause and effect thing there. Beyond that, the consumer or their family caregiver has a good opportunity and responsibility to make sure that the doctor and the pharmacist is given all the information about that person, so the doctor and pharmacist can actually make the best decision, educated decision they can related to the patient's therapy. Pharmacists and physicians don't have this amazing computer somewhere that tracks every medication somebody's taking, when they took it, how they take it, what allergies they have. They might have some of that information, but too often it's not complete. And so that's the first thing that patients need to do with their doctors and pharmacies, to make sure that they know everything they're taking, all the health conditions that they have, all the allergies they have, and that their doctor and pharmacist takes the time to screen all of that, because too often times these interactions occur and they could have been caught.
Are there other questions that we should be asking?
Oh, most definitely. There's a couple things that we ask patients to do in the doctor's office. The first is make sure they don't settle for anything less than a safe prescription, which is something they can take with them so they can compare something at the pharmacy when they get the medication from the pharmacy. It's a legible prescription, something the patient can read so that they are actually able to make that comparison. It has the purpose on it. There's a lot of problems with medications whose names look and sound alike, and it's easy if the medications, if it's a voice order, or if it's messy that the pharmacist isn't able to really make it out, or they might confuse it accidentally. If the purpose is on that prescription, the pharmacist is greatly less likely to make those confusing errors. So that's important in the doctor's office. At the pharmacy, get that pharmacist consultation. California law requires the pharmacist to provide a consultation on any new prescription. Unfortunately, a lot of times patients waive their right because they're in a hurry, or they don't even know they're waiving their right. A lot of times they'll be asked to sign a signature log, and that can be something that they don't see. So take advantage of that. At the very least, it's one last opportunity for a professional to catch any error that might have been made in the prescribing and filling of your medication.
Before we run out of time, and we're almost out of time, I do want to mention you do have a website for consumers to sort of ask some of these questions, right?
Most definitely. It's a free online service. It's called safemedservice.org, safemedservice, all one word, .org. And people can go on there, put in all their prescription OTC meds, all their health conditions, and it'll screen for any possible risks.
Oh, that's great. Well, Michael Negrete, thank you very much for coming by and talking about the Pharmacy Foundation of California and all the work you're doing. It sounds very fascinating and very beneficial.
My pleasure.
And thanks to our viewers for watching Comcast Newsmakers. We'll see you next time.